Guys, welcome back. In this video, I will be sharing my experience with you about my switch from the MacBook Pro M1 2020 to this iPad Pro 11-inch M4. I have been using this iPad Pro from last 7 to 8 months and I have been using this for multiple purposes. I play games on this, I watch Netflix, I consume a lot of YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. My experience so far has been stunning. If you are someone who wants to switch from your regular laptops or your MacBook Pros to this little piece of beauty, then this video is for you. If you want to switch from the MacBook Pro and you want to have this iPad Pro, then you have two options. Number one is the size. You have two options in size 11-inch and the 13-inch. If you are someone who is for the most of the time on the go and you want something which is smaller in size and you can take it to different places, then to my recommendation, 11-inch one of the best things to have. The size of the iPad Pros they varies person to person, situation to situation. If you are someone who is very much into editing videos or editing the photos, then I would recommend get the 13-inch. And if you are on the other hand someone who wants to play games or you want to use your iPad on your couch or on your bed, then the 11-inch can be handy. On the side note, the 13-inch M4 iPad Pros are not that heavy in size or in weight in journal as they used to be. You can still use that without the feeling of holding something extremely heavy in your hands. They don't give you the hand fatigue. Okay, so let's answer the most important question here. Who is the best beneficiary or the benefactor of using the iPads in the proper placement of the MacBook Pros or their conventional laptops? You need to understand few things. Number one, if you are a professional whose only job is to read emails, then this device can be an excellent choice because you can have the Outlook installed on this iPad Pro or in any iPad Pro, and the emailing experience is great in this device. So your usage is only to answer emails or sometimes using the Excel for a very small usage, but we can also use the Excel for some heavy task as well, but the experience might not be that great, but still you can use that Excel in this iPad Pros and the experience will be okay. You won't regret it. Okay, so you can also make presentations on this device. We have the Keynotes application there. Keynote is one of the best applications when it comes to making decent level of presentations. And we also get the Teams. You can simply install the Teams and you can have a lot of team meetings, Zoom meetings. This is excellent for this kind of work. And if you are someone in journal who have a lighter everyday task, then this device is one of the best things to have in replacement of the MacBook Pros or your regular laptops. Okay, so if you ask me, my decision criteria from switching the MacBook Pro to this iPad Pro was mainly because of the screen display. Look at the screen resolution. This quality of screen is exceptionally great. And I don't think so there is any other iPad or there is any other tablet in journal which offers that great quality of display. This is my core decision and I have zero regrets because of my use cases as well. On the other hand, if you are someone who need a laptop or a MacBook Pro for a very heavy duty task, then the replacement might not be as lucrative or as beneficial for you. Say for example, if you are someone who use the Final Cut Pro and you use it in a professional level, then the Final Cut Pro might not have all that features you might get in the regular Final Cut Pro version of the Mac OS. Plus, we have the limited iPad OS. The iPad OS itself is not limited, but it offers you some limitations when it comes to very extreme computing. Say, for example, if you want to do very heavy tasks, then the operating system has some limitations. Not the hardware side, the hardware is sufficient. This is the M4 iPad Pro, which means it has the M4 ARM chip, which is very good and can handle all the everyday tasks, all the professional tasks. But the limitation here is the operating system. This operating system is generally based on the iOS and it has some limitations when it comes to Mac OS, which is a more mature and a more great software to have. So you have to keep some things in mind. that you will face these limitations if you are a professional user. In one example, to understand this very easily, I used to play Dota 2 on my MacBook Pro M1. That was a 2020 year model, and the screen size was 13-inch. The M1 was so much capable of handling the Dota 2, but you can have the Dota 2 application or Dota 2 game on this iPad Pro despite it has the M4 chip, which is significantly faster than the M1 chip. But still, you can't play the Dota 2 on this device because of the iPad OS. The limitation is not the hardware, the limitation is the software. So that is the thing that you need to consider before you make a switch from the MacBook Pro or your regular laptops to the iPad Pros. There is another criteria, there is another thing which can make or break your decision about switching from the MacBook Pro or the regular laptop to the iPad Pro is the battery performance of this device. This is the 11-inch variant, and the battery is unfortunately not the best in the world. Because I'm coming from the MacBook Pro, the first thing that I noticed as a drawback was the battery performance of the iPads. I used to get a decent amount of battery on my MacBook Pro, but the battery performance on this iPad Pro is not as good as it was on the MacBook Pro, because as you know, the size of this device is very thin, and we have a small size of battery in this. Whereas if you are using some HP or Dell laptops, you still get some better battery as compared to those Windows laptop on this iPad Pro. You get the better battery on this iPad Pro when it is compared to the laptops which is HP, Dell, and running the Windows operating system. So this is the one area that you need to look into it. The thing that you need to put into perspective before you make a switch from the MacBook to the iPad is the file management. To me, the file management in the iPad OS is okayish. I don't have any issues or any complaints about it, but definitely it is not as good as you might get in the Mac OS. So if you have the laptop, your file management experience will be definitely better on the MacBook as compared to it will be in your iPads. So that is one another area you need to think about. If you have something, if you have a lot of files to work on, then the file management will not be as good as in the MacBook Pros. Okay, the first thing that you need to do is when you are switching from the MacBook Pro to the iPad Pros is the adaptability. Because the Macs or the laptops, they have the keyboard, physical keyboards, and you start pressing the keys and experience is, is a very familiar. But in this case, you have everything in touch. You need to adopt this touch functionality and start using the iPad the way it is. Okay, so let's talk about the accessories which you can attach with the iPad Pros to enhance the user experience. Number one is a very famous accessory, which is the Folio keyboard. I don't use that Folio keyboard a lot, even I don't have one, because I am literally against it. Because my objective was, if I'm trying to switch from the MacBook Pro to this iPad Pro, was primarily for two reasons. Number one, the display quality, and number second was the size of this device. And if I want to use this beauty as it's the way she is, then my preference was not to use the Folio keyboard with it. Because if I want to carry the Folio keyboard with it, why not I just get the MacBook Pro and use that MacBook Pro as a full-fledged device? There is no point of switching from the Mac to the iPad if you still want to use the Folio keyboard and want to look alike a laptop. So this is my take on this. If you see that useful, then it's your option. You might get it. On the other hand, we have the a lot of different USB-C accessories which you can attach with this iPad Pro. In my case, I sometimes for fun have the a dongle which I use to connect my regular keyboard and mouse with this, and I play games through it. So that's a fun thing, and this is a great option for me. But my preference on the Folio keyboard is not that I'm not into it. Okay, so in the end, my take is, if you are planning to switch from the MacBook Pro to the iPad Pros or from the laptops to the iPad Pros, then the option is okay. You can do every single thing which you do on your everyday task. from the Zoom calls, Excel, from the team meetings, from every single thing, the regular things, including the video editing. I do edit all my videos on this iPad Pro, and the experience is stunning. This is more intuitive than editing a video on the MacBook Pro. So you can do every single thing. The option is there to switch from the bulky, heavy laptops to this small, beautiful, and powerful devices. But you need to see and understand your requirements first. If you have some applications which can only be run on the MacBook Pros or the Windows, then then that option is not available for you. But on the other hand, if you are someone who preferred the mobility and the size of the device over anything else, and you want to have the liberty to take this device anywhere, then this option is great. This is a great replacement for the MacBooks or the laptops. I have been using this iPad Pro as my MacBook Pro replacement, and I have zero regrets, except one thing, that I cannot play Dota 2. Other than that, every single thing that I need is there on this iPad Pro. That was my take, and these are the few things and tips that you need to take into consideration before switching from the MacBook Pros to your iPad Pros. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing. Thank you very much. Peace out.